What's up, everybody? Course Sensei JD here with your class for Labor Day 2024. And also, please understand, when you guys do these lessons, the comments are how we give you class credit, the attendance. So if you don't comment, I have no idea you did the lesson. And so what we're going to work on today for the basics for the beginner part of the course is we're going to work a lot of fundamental movements, because as we've been doing classes, I've noticed several people have forgotten either A, how to get up in base, or confused on how to shrimp, how to roll forward or backwards. So I'm going to take the first little bit of this class to go over that kind of stuff, and then we're going to get into some kicks and some other techniques and this, that, and the other. So make sure you stay tuned for the question of the day. I'm going to have 4 of them, and I need you to answer one of them to get class credit for when we're doing this. Reminder, when you do these and you put in the comments, you get class credit, which applies to your testing dates. So when you're talking about getting your stripes for your tests, that's how, this is another way you can get some extras in, okay? So make sure you put a comment in the comment section based on the question of the day. All right, so let's get started with the really basic stuff. So we're gonna talk about breakfalling and things first. So we're gonna do the back breakfall, the side breakfall, and the front breakfall. I'm going what I think from easiest to hardest. I'm going to turn sideways so everybody can kind of see, and I think most of you guys will already know this, but of course if you're brand new to any of this, this will be new to you as well. So I start in this thing we call vampire pose. I'm going to tuck my chin to my chest, and as I fall back, I'm going to slap the mat. And again, I want to kind of line up with where my belt would be. So I'm right here like this. My head is far away from the ground. I'm not letting my head go back. Also, I'm not going to let my feet go so high it makes my head hit the ground. That's the other key piece of this. So when you fall back, just like so, you're not letting your head hit the ground, and you're slapping the mat about where your waistband would be, okay? And so what I need you to do, I need you to do a minimum of 10 back break falls. Okay, you can pause the video, do your 10, come back and continue on the video. If you're a orange belt or higher, you need to do these from standing, okay? For those that are yellow belts, you guys should be doing them from kneeling, and I'm gonna demonstrate that now. So kneeling is when you're up here like this, you're gonna fall back, slap, and notice I switched out my legs. I fall back, slap, and you switch out your legs. So when you're doing your break falls, you're going to do 10 front ones, and based on your rank, so white belts for sure, you can do the seated position. Yellow belts, you guys should be kneeling, and then orange belts and higher, you guys should be standing. All right, moving on, we're going to talk about the side break fall. Again, we start this pretty easy. We're here in this what we call dead bug position, and I'm just going to fall to one side. I have one leg flat on the ground, one palm flat on the ground, my head is off the ground, and my hand is protecting my neck. It doesn't have to, it's personal preference. You can do that, I guess, if you really want to, but I notice when people do this, they get confused by switching sides. So I'm here in dead bug, and I fall to the side. Also, something to notice, if I were to move this leg out of the way, my other foot, I am active toes. I am using this as like a little suspension system. I'm not just landing on my heel, sending a shock wave up into my leg and hurting my knee or hurting my shin, hurting my ankle. So I'm landing like that when there's a little bit of suspension. So I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, for at home, I need you guys to do 10 each side, so a total of 20. And these are minimums. You can, by all means, you should do more. All right. So for your first question of the day, the question is, how many reps do you have to do of a technique to have it memorized? So doing the side break fall, or doing the back break fall, or even doing the front break fall, you have to do that move how many times to have it memorized? Put that in the comment section below. Okay. We're now going to move on to the front break fall. This is the hardest of the 3 in my opinion. So now I'm on my knees and I'm in what we call a kneeling position. I'm going to come up into this posted position. We call this post. and I'm gonna make a diamond with my hands, and I'm gonna turn my face. And when I fall, I hit just like that. Notice my body is not on the ground, and my hands are not like this. Again, I'm gonna turn profile for you guys. So I'm here in kneeling position. I post up nice and high. I make that diamond. As I fall, I hit. But I don't hit like this, and I don't hit like that. It's a palm forearm, 1, 2, but it hits like super fast. Also, make sure you're turning your face, so if your hand, elbow, shoulder, something gives out when you're falling, you hit the side of your face and not break your nose and knock your teeth out. So it's here, there. You come back to seated, kneeling position, post, and fall. All right, again, a minimum of 10. Moving on, we're gonna talk about forward roll and backwards roll. And I'm gonna do this in a pretty tight space, so work with me on this. But again, you guys will do a minimum of 10 rolls forward and back. I'm gonna start with the backwards roll and then the forwards roll. So on the backwards roll, I sit in this position called a S mount or a 3-point stance. A, B, and C, 3 points. I'm gonna grab my shin bone and I'm gonna tuck my ear away from the leg I'm grabbing, okay? So if this knee's on the ground, kind of think of like you wanna lay your head on that knee. And from here, I'm gonna pull my leg right over my head. And I don't hit my head on the ground. Switching sides for you guys. So, I grab my shin bone, I push my ear towards the down knee, and as I roll, notice I roll on the same shoulder that my knee was holding. And when I'm upside down, I stabilize and I push myself up. Grab, pull, turn around, grab, and pull. So there you have the backwards roll. Again, white belts. Of course, you got whites and yellows. We'll be doing this from kneeling. I would say orange, for sure. Greens, you guys need to be standing up. Okay, maybe orange, maybe do 5 and 5. So again. And again, in watching classes, I see some people struggling with this. So understand, for the sake of martial arts, for the sake of self-defense, for the sake of combat sports, we do not roll somersault style. We do not put our hands on the floor, put our head on the ground, and then roll like that, okay? You could probably see, you could probably hear, like my head hits the ground, my neck and my spine all hit the ground. It's not a very good roll for combat sports, not a good roll for being thrown on the ground. So what we do is we call a forward roll. And so what the difference is that same stance I had earlier, where I grabbed my leg to go backwards. Now I move my arm to the inside of that. So in backwards rolls, I'm on the outside, but forward rolls, I'm on the inside. You have a couple choices here. You can do the beach ball. You can do the bulldozer version or the shovel version where you shovel your hand under your foot. This has been the one I liked the most of the past couple years. Slap the mat. You know how we do the mat slap? Bam. Now I'm gonna creepy crawly my hand until my knee touches the ground. You don't have to crawl way out here. I've seen that a lot. It's not necessary. I kind of want my hand and my knee in the same line. Again, just like before, I move my ear away from the knee, and now I'm gonna push myself right over. So going back, shovel my hand under my foot, give me a mat slap, I crawl my hand forward just so my knee touches. Again, notice they're pretty much in line. At this point, I'm rolling on my shoulder. This leg is doing nothing. This foot does all the work. And that's a forward roll. Second question of the day. So this would be a different person answering. Please don't answer more than one question. Golden rule of grappling. Put in the comment section below what the golden rule of grappling is, and then we'll get on to the next part of this class. Cool. All right, so moving on to the lesson portion of this, talking about, we just did our rolls and our breakfalls. We're gonna go ahead and move into basic ground movement. So we're gonna start really simple with just swaying base. I'm gonna do this without a dummy, but you could use a training dummy to make this drill work. So you're gonna start in this turtle position. Elbows and knees are touching, okay? And my palms are on the mat, and my whole body is kind of in this turtle position. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up an elbow, okay? Just gonna lift it up. I'm gonna post one leg. Notice I'm still on my other elbow here. And I'm gonna just slide my foot right through that little spot, okay? Essentially, I now have side mount or case of gatame. And then I would go right back to my turtle position. Elbow up, knee up, and then I slide my leg through. This is swaying base, going from side to side. Essentially, it's a kick through. So if I started here, that's one. Every time I get back to the center point after hitting head and feet, that's one. Give me 10 of those doing that. Or now we're going to talk about kick out and get back to turtle. So starting in the same basic position, and I'm going to do the same beginning, but this time when I bring my leg through, instead of just kicking through, I'm going to kick it all the way till I go to my back, okay? And I still have one leg on the ground. The leg that kicked through is now currently up in there. I'm gonna put my tippy toes on the mat. I'm gonna elevate my hips, and I'm gonna pull one leg. It doesn't matter which leg, but I'm gonna pull this leg through, because otherwise my butt's gonna be facing the camera. So I lift my hip up, and I pull that leg through. Again, my belly is not on the mat. I'm on my shoulder, I'm on my toes. And then I simply bring my knees and my elbows in. Yes, you're not going to be facing the same direction every single time. It's not a problem. It's okay. I elbow up, I knee up, I kick myself all the way to my back, tippy toes, elevate your hip, pull that one leg underneath, never letting that belly button touch the mat, and then I'm back in the turtle position. And so again, I want a minimum of 10 of these. Every time you get back to turtle, that's one. So for question of the day, the next one, go ahead and tell me what the 3 types of chokes are. So if you've been doing this for a while, most of you guys should know there are 3 sides to a choke. There are also 3 types of chokes. Tell me what one of those are, or maybe all 3. That's the question, okay? If you only know one, that's okay. But try to give me all 3 in the same post. Don't list each one separately. All right. We're going to talk about shrimping now. And so we have several ways to shrimp. And so the easiest one, I'm turning perpendicular so it's easy to see, is what we call shrimping in place. And so I'm on my tippy toes, my heels are pretty close to my butt, my elbows are in tight to my body, and my hands are here, home alone face. I would say you should start your grappling or your ground fighting from here. If I did anything different, I would lay one leg down. That way both legs can't be grapevined. If I did anything different, this would be it. That is it. All right, when I shrimp, I bring my leg in, I elevate my hips, I turn, and I push my butt out. Notice my butt was pretty much on this tape line right here in front of you. Now my butt is way over here, and I'm on my side, and I should look like a shrimp, okay? I don't want you guys to do this. I don't want you to push yourself out. That's not it. My shoulder slid. I didn't shrimp. I don't look like a shrimp, okay? So I'm here. I elevate my hips. I turn to my side, and I move my butt out. And there's the shrimp motion. Now, from here, I'm going to lift, and I pull myself back. And I want you 10 where you're shrimping on the right side, and 10 shrimping on the left side. So again, hip up, hip out. There's one. Hip up, hip out. That would be 2, or so you're gonna go to 20 if you go side to side, or you do 10 and 10 if you do the same side every time. 1, 2, 3, and you get the idea. So 20 total or 10 each side. Getting up in base. A lot of you guys, I notice, are forgetting how to do it. A lot of you guys are, maybe you haven't done it, and so you're like, I don't know how to get up in base. So getting up in base is very important for our training, because I want to be able to get up and I want to be protected when I do this. So this way I'm sitting right now is what we call sitting in base. And I'm using that wall over there that you can't see on the off camera. I'm using that as my framing point. I can make the camera a framing point too. So I'm basically sitting on this taped line. I'm looking right at the camera. Okay. If I want to switch sides, I switch sides, and now I can look at my secondary camera, and I'm sitting in base. This is what we call base switching. So I'm switching from cheek to cheek, essentially, butt cheek to butt cheek, and I'm just going from this base leg to this base leg. Now, to get up in base, the thing I need you to do is I need you to move this leg, this laying down leg. I need you to plant it behind your arm. So it is not getting up like this. That is not how we get up in base. Okay? I want you to elevate your hip, and to, if you need to put your knee down, that's okay. And then I'm going to switch from knee to foot. And then you get up. Now if I'm here facing this way, I lift my butt and I plant my hand. Boom. Back down. Again, lift your butt, plant. So that is getting up in base. Make sure again, you do it 10 times right, 10 times left. The next technique we're going to talk about is the step over and the back step. Stepping over to mount, back stepping from mount. Okay, you're going to use your back stepping a lot of times in your guard passing skills. So I highly, highly recommend you put some time and energy into this back step. If the head is facing you and their feet are facing that wall, I'm going to sway my base or face their feet. And now I'm going to tag that far knee and I'm going to step over their body. And now I stepped over to mount. Okay? To back step, I'm going to simply move an arm across the body and then take that leg and kind of think about like kicking the ceiling or something. Take that leg and there's your back step. And from here, I turn back into this cross mount position. So I post, I sway my base. So now I move my legs to face the feet. From here, I'm going to step over with my posted leg. And I'm in the mounted position. And now I simply move an arm across, so 2 hands are on the same side, and I back step. And scissor my feet, and I'm back to this cross mount position. How do you count that out? Well, if you're gonna go to both sides of the dummy, okay, if you're gonna use a pillow or a training dummy or whatever, then every time you get back to the original side, you count as 1. So maybe you step over, back step, you're on the cross mount over here, step over, back step, you're back to cross mount on this side. That's 1. So your next question today is, what are the 6 S's, the letter S, that apply to your martial arts training? And I'll give you 1. We're going to say skill. The techniques, the things, the skills that you're picking up by coming to class is 1 of them. There are 5 others. And so we're going to start with the armbar. I'm going to give you 4 arm bars that you guys can work. with a dummy, with your brother or sister or mom or dad, or even if you happen to have just a gi that you put the towel through and the pillow in, if that's all you have, that's also fine. So I'm going to start with what I think the easiest arm bars are, and then I'm going to get into the most difficult. I'm going to grab the shoulder, I'm going to slide up to the wrist, I'm going to sprint my legs, make sure you open them up a little bit, and you just press down for the basic arm bar. That's the first one. So I'm here just like this. Step 1, grab the wrist. Step 2, sprint. Step 3, press down on the arm. There's your arm bar. He should be tapping. Okay, and so you can see my feet are crossed and I got the dummy here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach one arm across and I'm going to grab that tricep. Tricep is right where your t-shirt line and your arm meet. Tricep. So grab the tricep, pull that across so it's past my belly button. Now I'm going to take the same leg and I'm going to step right on their hip. Okay, notice my other leg did not fall to the ground. Now from there I'm going to pivot, I'm going to rotate my body so I am now perpendicular, or I look like an X, and I can look down into their ear. I can see inside there. Hey, it's got full of stuffing. Interesting. Now I move my arm across, the leg comes around, pinch your knees, elevate your hips, and there's the arm bar. All right, let's look at that again. Hate yourself. All right, swim your arm underneath. Grab the tricep. Pull that arm past your belly button as best you can. Notice I'm not touching the wrist. Okay? Step on the hip. Rotate. Now I'm putting my hand right here next to their shoulder. It could be the karate chop. You could even grip the gi if it's a gi class. I can kind of break their posture. But the thing is to get the leg around. So now my leg is around the head. My knees pinch. And you elevate your hips. And that's when they tap. So I have back mount, just like so. I have my arm seatbelting in. Remember, the seatbelt comes over, and then it clocks in, just like in the car. You take the seatbelt, and it's locked in. Don't put the seatbelt, and then you're holding on to it on the outside. Make sure it's under and locked in. So there's my seatbelt. All right, for the Backmount Armbar, really easy. All I'm gonna do is hug the shoulder. My other arm comes around and puts my hand, kind of like that karate chop like we did in the guard armbar. From here, I'm gonna step around, lay down, armbar. Again, locking my own arm in this mix, hug the shoulder, move your arm around, mush. Notice how my leg is on the far side of their hip as this other leg comes over. And then I pinch my heels to my butt as best I can. I'm also pinching my knees together. And as we lay down, there's where I get the arm bar, just like that. So we're going to be in this position right here. So I got my knee on belly, my leg is posted. I do not want my knee on the ground. I want this here. And we're going to assume they're pushing on my leg. Okay, he's pushing. So I'm going to reach in, I'm going to grab that wrist, I'm going to pull that arm in front of my chest. Notice it's not under my armpit. And now I simply step over the head and I fall down and I get the arm bar. Knee on the belly, other foot posted, at least parallel to their head. Okay, he pushes on my knee, same side hand, reaches down, grabs, pulls that arm up right to my chest. Now I'm going to take this leg and I walk right around. From there, fall down nice and slow, controlling the descent, and there's the arm bar. This is part 3 of our online lesson for Labor Day for 2024. We're going to be finishing off with some advanced kicks. So I'm going to go ahead and just put myself in in my right lead. So if you're copying at home, you can be in your left lead and be in the correct lead and make all this work. All I'm going to start with is really simple. I need you guys to understand if I want to do a round kick, or if I want to do, or I should say, if I want to do a side kick or a hook kick, I use my lead leg. If I'm going to do a power front kick or a power round kick, I use my rear leg. So for the side kick, I'm going to turn my foot, I'm going to bring my leg up, and I fire the side kick. And I'm showing it towards the camera first, and then I'll turn profile so you guys can copy. But I'm not bringing this rear leg to kick. It takes way too long, so please don't do that. Okay, you're just here. Just gonna rotate that foot, so now my hips have shifted, and I'm gonna just bring this leg up, and I kick it towards the camera. If I am facing this way, I simply rotate, and now side kick. If I'm facing this way, rotate, side kick. Switching it to the hook kick. And I want you to think your hook kick is a curvy side kick, I guess is the best way to put it. Side kick goes straight in the target, aiming with the heel. My hook kick misses, and then I hook it in to the target. So if I do the same thing, I turn my leg perpendicular and I hook the kick in to the target. So I'm here, rotate, side kick off to the side, hook it into the target. If I face this way, turn my leg off to the side, and I hook it in. If I switch my leg, turn this here, hook kick it in. That's the hook kick. Now we're going to talk about crescent kicks. There are two types. They're inside and outside. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to bring this leg up. If you would like to use your hand, you're going to swing and you're going to hit your target. Swinging this leg in that motion is your crescent kick, aka your inside crescent kick. So my hands are up, I'm bringing my leg and I'm kicking the target. Bring my leg up, kick the target. Now, so now the same leg is going to swing outward. And you can bring your knee up and snap it. That's all cool. And if I go with my right side, that's inside, that's outside. Snapping outside, snapping inside. You're aiming with the blade of your foot for the outside and the arch of your foot for the inside. So when I hit that target, I'm hooking it in and I'm whipping it out. And that's your crescent kick. Kicks. And now we're going to finish off with the stop kick. Okay? You had the side kick, you had the hook kick, you had two different types of crescent kicks. We're going to talk about the stop kick. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my rear leg up and I stop the target. Stomping down, usually right above the knee, not the knee. It's a stop kick. And if I switch my lead, stop kick. And you just bring your leg up and stomp kind of on a weird front angle. It's like a bad front kick. It just goes there. Stop kick. So there you guys have it. There is a lesson. Labor Day 2024. Make sure you do everything a minimum of 10 times or set a timer. Do a 2-minute round of each thing. Pause the video in between. You'll get plenty of reps in. Don't forget to put a comment in the comment section below to get class credit. Awesome. We will see you guys in class.